sometimes of the tide cycle, the Shinnecock Bay, which is on the south side of the locks, and obviously the Great Peconic Bay is on the north side, are going to be at similar levels. When they're at or near similar levels, that's what is referred to as the locks being open.
Okay.
So if you hear on the radio, for argument's sake, the locks are now open, it can be confusing to some people because it almost sounds like, okay, now they're open, I can go through, but when they're closed, I can't go through.
Yeah.
In reality, it's more predictably safe when the locks are closed. So when they say the locks are closed, it simply means that the lockmasters made the determination that the levels of the water have gotten disparate enough where the current is starting to go more aggressively than what he or she thinks is comfortable for a boat to pass through. That's when they make the decision to close the locks. But I've had many clients say, oh, well, the locks are closed, I can't go through. And it's actually exactly the opposite, because when the locks are closed, it's a very controlled environment.
How severe is the tide coming through when it's at its worst?
Water, and just kind of think about it in your bathtub. You know, when you pull the drain on your bathtub, you have a lot of water going through a little drain. It creates a circular pattern as it drains. The locks do exactly the same thing. You have a lot of water passing through a narrow area. So when it's just slightly disparate, you'll just see very mild, turns in the water. As it becomes more disparate, that turn will become more aggressive. So, and then it'll get to a point where, again, when the lockmaster says, all right, this is, getting too aggressive, or hopefully just before that point, let's close the locks. It's one of the few times going through the locks that you don't want to worry about a 5-mile-an-hour speed limit if the whirlpools are fairly aggressive. You want to leave plenty of room because, again, if it's a little bit of a whirlpool, if you imagine, if you give a little bit of throttle, I'm not talking going wide open or something, but just a little more than what you normally would, so you're now powering through that whirlpool, as opposed to if you're going too slow, your boat will become at an effect of the whirlpool, and you can get kind of tossed sideways fairly easily. The reason for keeping away is so that if I decide I need to power through, I've got plenty of space that I'm not going to run up on the stern of that boat, because I've seen, again, many a times where people feel the need, okay, I do need to go faster, but they haven't allowed themselves enough space to go faster. They have to back off the throttle, and when you back off the throttle, that's the absolute worst thing to do, because now you're not driving the boat through the water's driving the boat. We have a delightful day here.